Roll for Crit presents how to play Blue Lagoon in 5 minutes or less or more. Blue Lagoon is the settlement game that lets you build a new life in a tropical paradise, designed by Reiner Knizia and published by Blue Orange. Your goal in Blue Lagoon is to gain more points than the opposing tribes over 2 distinct phases. The board is separated into hexagonal spaces on land and sea with 8 different islands and a bunch of resources and statuette pieces randomly distributed to spaces showing stone circles. Each player will receive a set of villages and settler tokens in their color, and you're ready to roll. Phase 1 is the exploration phase. Each player will take turns doing one thing and one thing only, placing one of their pieces onto the board. That's it. Here's how it works. Settler tokens have 2 sides, one for land and one for sea. You can place one with the sea side facing up onto any unoccupied sea space on the board. Villages and settler tokens with the land side facing up can go onto any unoccupied space on land, as long as they are adjacent to one of your previously played pieces. So your boats can go anywhere in the water, but your settlers and villages on land have to branch out from your other pieces. If you place a piece, village or settler, onto a space with a stone circle which holds a resource or statuette piece, you immediately take that piece and put it in your own personal collection. The first phase ends either when every resource, not statuette, has been removed from the board, or when every player has finished placing all of their villages and settlers on the board. Then you count up everyone's score. There are multiple ways to score points in this game, and here they are. If you have pieces on every island on the board, you get 20 points. If you have pieces on all but one island, you get 10 points instead. If you have a single chain of adjacent pieces stretching across multiple islands without being broken, then you get 5 points for each island covered by that chain. If you have more pieces present on an island than any other tribe there, you get a number of points indicated on the board between 6 and 10 depending on the island. If there's a tie, points get split up evenly between the players. Then there are your resources. If you have 2 of the same matching resource, that's worth 5 points. 3 of a kind get you 10 points, and 4 or more of a kind, 20. If you also have at least one of each of the 4 resource types in your possession, you get an extra 10 points. And finally, statuettes are worth a flat 4 points apiece. After counting up and writing down, you'll do it all over again in Phase 2, the settlement phase, with some major differences. Everything on the board is cleared except for the player's village pieces, which stay where they are, unless said village piece is on a space with a stone circle. These villages will be removed from the game, so you want to avoid placing villages there in Phase 1 if possible. All resources and statuettes are collected and newly distributed as well. Now players take turns placing their settler tokens, but this time you can't place your settlers' boats into any sea space on the board. Instead, you must begin by placing pieces in spaces adjacent to one of your previously placed villages. Then, you can continue to branch out from your villages, moving further inland or to the sea and onto other islands. In this way, your placement of villages in Phase 1 is very important because it determines where you'll be able to play in Phase 2, at least at the start. The settlement phase ends when all the resources are gone or when every player is out of pieces. Then scores are counted up in the exact same way as before, and you add your scores from both phases together. The player with the highest total wins. In conclusion, explore, settle, gather, and score. That's Blue Lagoon in a nutshell. Did you get all that?